My personal view as to whether the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, aka Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, are going to lose their titles is coming up in this video. So welcome back to Black Belt Secrets. Please do subscribe here. We're on Black Belt Secrets, where you get my personal opinions on these things. So opinion warning, these are just opinions, not necessarily matters of law, not even matters of law in some cases. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I really think. But welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful Saturday morning out there. I'm kidding. It's raining all over the country. And despite the weather report saying that we're going to have blistering hot summer until October, it doesn't look like it. So you might remember that I did a video yesterday. I lose track of what day it is these days, but I think yesterday about whether or not Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are likely to lose their titles, because I discussed a piece of law that's been introduced as a private member's bill, which would provide for the power, if it did reach royal assent, which is my opinion that I'm going to come back onto in a minute. It would provide the power for the monarch or parliament to remove those titles. Now, there is no such power as it is at the moment for either to do that. It is theoretically possible, and royal historians would probably give you a much more expert opinion on this than I would. But just from reading the history books, it is theoretically possible that the king could write a letters patent and enable himself to do that. But not only would that be hugely controversial, not just in a general sense, but also in the sense of the UK Constitution being something largely uncodified and following protocols. We like our protocols, and we're very good at following protocols here. So we tend to like to follow protocols, particularly in the last sort of 50 years or so. We do like to follow protocols. So the only proper way of doing that would be through law, new legislation. And there was an MP, Rachel Maskell, who put forward a private member's bill, which would allow the king or parliament to do this on such a vote. Now, the key analysis that I did in my video, which was released yesterday, I think yesterday, was that very, very few private members' bills actually go all the way through to royal assent. In fact, only in the 2019 onwards session of Parliament, only 7 out of, I think it was 192 from memory, I don't have the documents in front of me anymore, actually made it all the way to royal assent. The vast majority of legislation in the United Kingdom comes about by government ministers. Private members' bills are members of Parliament that don't hold a ministerial position. So they quite literally queue up. A lot of them are by a ballot, which is a bit like playing bingo for your piece of law, your idea or your draft law that you want to bring forward as an MP. And a lot of these therefore get through as what we call a ballot bill. It could be a presentation bill, which is where it has a sponsor. It could be a 10-minute bill, which is where they literally have 10 minutes to introduce and talk about their idea for law in Parliament. So the bottom line on an analysis like that is that it is very, very unlikely that this law is going to go forward. And most years, the percentage is limited to between 3 and 6%, and the record was 13% of private members' bills that actually made it all the way through to royal assent. Royal assent being the final step, it is now law. Watch the comment section go crazy. An act of law is proper law. It is proper legislation, ladies and gentlemen, of the freemen of the land world. It is proper law. Is it likely, in my view, that this is going to go through? Probably not. It is possible. I'll stand to be corrected, but in my view, it's unlikely that it will go all the way through. Is it likely or possible that the king or any other mechanism is going to remove their titles? I hate to disappoint those that would really love their title to be removed, but my opinion is probably not. There's a caveat. There is one situation where I believe that it might be possible that these titles get removed, and that is if something really serious and drastic happens, such as, if you would believe the rumors, such as them getting divorced, or even some kind of separation. Even if they didn't outright get divorced, and they just separated and Harry came back to the UK, for example, that might well mean that the king steps in and says, right now we need to do something about this, because we can't have a fractured family across the globe of royal members of the family, or even if they're not working royals, he may at that point step in. So that's not my view on that. But beyond anything like that happening, I just don't think that's likely to happen. I think King Charles, much like Her Majesty the Queen would try to keep the status quo and keep things as safe, as normal, as stable as possible. And so only by making major changes, it would require some major event. In my view, that is just my view of all these things. So a lot of people have asked in the comments to that video what my personal view is. We are here on Black Belt Secrets. These are my personal views. These are not necessarily analytical. It's just what I think, what I personally think. So I personally don't think that's going to happen unless there's some major event. If you want to hear more about my personal views, please do hit that subscribe button, like the video if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.